Hello and welcome to DCP Live episode number 194. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Clintus, welcome back to the show.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you guys?
Good.
Doing good, all things considered. You know, it's been another one of those, oh boy, type of weeks. In fact, let's see, last week on Friday, we did the charity stream, which was amazing, right? In fact, I woke up thinking about this today. I was like, wait a minute, was that really last week? Because I feel like I've had an entire month of June between now and last Friday, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, June has been a wild month.
Yeah. Talk about your guys' charity stream. Like that. Incredible. Every year you guys just crush it.
It was awesome. Yeah.
It's always so much fun, and I'm always amazed by the generosity of the community. Every single time we do it, it's just like, holy crap, what is happening? There's never like will they show up and will people donate? And they always do every single time.
Yeah. I definitely have that emotion every single time. I'm always like, are we going to be like left in the dust and nobody's going to come through and want to it's weird. I think it's a content creator thing, that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, charity definitely does it. It was amazing. We raised over 62,000 and committed to a lot of things.
Committed to things. Yeah.
Made commitments.
So which one are you guys getting matching tattoos this time?
Thank God there's no tattoos.
This time, I think we kept away from like piercings and tattoos, just think the whole COVID thing. What if tomorrow they're like, we're locked down again?
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure it was stuff that we could do soon and never like Holtzman. So.
Way to call out Holtz. Wow.
I like it.
I think
that was nice.
That was excellent. Yeah.
It's on his resume.
Clintus was actually getting a tattoo for us, so thanks. We appreciate that, Clintus.
DCP.
There you go. I have to. So one of my commitments is I'm going to be streaming Dream Daddy, the game.
Finding your dream daddy.
Finding your dream daddy. Yeah, Yeah, and I'm going to have a pink beard while I do it. I love this. That was a surprise addition. I think it was because Briar, were you drunk during that stream?
Briar was totally drunk. Are you kidding me?
I swear, man. Halfway through, I was like, Briar's throwing stuff in. Just this, that, this, and that.
Dare you?
Briar was just speaking over everyone, yelling, peanut butter, bug snacks, peanut butter, bug snacks. Yeah, Briar.
That was not my intention. It was the hot sauce that caused it.
You were hot sauce drunk?
We did hot sauce at like the very beginning, and I was trying to drink beer to get the hot sauce. The hot sauce was really hot.
Yeah,
like, it was extraordinarily hot. It made like every like mucus thing in my head just start expelling as much liquid as it could immediately.
Yeah.
I was suffering, so I started drinking the beers to get rid of the hot.
Then all of a sudden, 7 beers later, it's still burning. Briar's drunk.
He's perspiring, everything hurts, and he's drunk, and like ideas are just.
At some point, I started eating a mayonnaise and peanut butter sandwich.
Oh god,
that wasn't good.
Yeah.
All right, so I gotta know what was this hot sauce? I love hot sauce. I'm all about spicy. Like
mine was called Dave's. I think it was called Dave's Insanity Sauce.
Okay.
It was insanity. Yes.
It had a meter,
I remember
right?
The word insanity.
Did it had a meter from like regular to insanity?
Right up to insanity.
Is that like
it was the hottest thing I've ever tried to eat? That's for sure.
Okay.
And I think I like put too much on. Like I had a chip, and I think I filled the chip. Like I think I just went over.
Like salsa?
Yeah. Yeah.
Scoop of salsa. Yeah, so you were having a tough time there. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there. What else? I'm going to be doing the DCP theme song officially. I'll be doing that.
Official
Yep.
theme song.
I'll put official production effort into it, and then we're going to be doing PS4 trials.
Yep.
I'm nervous about that because ever since I switched to PC, I got a sensitive tum. You know. That low field of view. You know, the frames are one thing, but the low field of view, man.
It makes me feel like I'm lost permanently. Like I've tried. I played Trials on PS4 since being on, like 240 frames, and it's just I feel like I'm permanently lost. I don't know who is where, what's happening, what gun do I have? Who knows? Who can tell? I don't know.
What game is this?
Yeah.
Ellie, is that you?
I haven't touched my PlayStation almost since it came out on PC, but my son still every once in a while will play on his, and he just got back into it because his buddy started playing, and he's very much a social gamer. Like he'll only play wherever his friends are playing, and he's playing something different every week. But his buddy's like, "Hey, you play Destiny still?" And he's like, "No, but I'd love to." Like he really likes Destiny, but he just his friends would play it. And like this week, the last 2 weeks, they've been like grinding their power. And every day he comes downstairs, he's like, "Dad, this, and this." So I was up in his room the other day watching him play, and I'm like, it looks like it's like in slow-mo. Like it's so crazy how different console is compared to PC. I was like, I don't remember this. And so I went back to some old VODs that I still have on Twitch and like my old D1 Trials days. I'm like, oh my God, this is so slow.
It's this
Sounds like Papa
there's no
Clintus
run.
needs to step it up and buy a computer for the son.
Yeah,
Get him up to
he
the.
has one.
Get him
his buddies can't play it. His buddies are on PlayStation.
You gotta buy a
Oh,
computer for the
yeah.
buddies. That's
That's gonna get expensive fast, but
Start showing him out. Like ring
really
ring Zydex?
interesting.
Yeah, hi. I need 10 PCs delivered.
Is there any other game that is so drastically different between their PC and console versions?
oh man, that's a good
I
question.
can't think
don't
of
know.
one.
A lot of games like Call of Duty, Watch, Fortnite, they're all 60 FPS on console. So
And they're all more recent, yeah. So, but
Yeah.
Destiny was like came out at that point where 30 FPS was still like kind of a thing that happened, whereas now it's if you're playing a multiplayer game, especially, it's not.
Multiplayer where your aim counts and also the field of view for like the field of view with the first person shooter type of thing that can definitely that's rough. I'm looking forward to the PS5 and the Xbox Series X,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, me too.
Because then
Our
everybody can do
trials
60.
time's gonna be fun, is what we're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fun.
I'm definitely gonna be drinking.
It's gonna make it so much worse.
Oh man. What else? What else did we commit
We're
to?
doing a raid-a-thon where we're
Yes.
all warlocks and
What?
have to compliment warlocks.
What?
The whole
Yeah.
time.
I don't remember
Right.
this. I need to see
Said
the
we're
bot
gonna
on
set
this.
up basically a swear jar every time we make fun of warlocks during that stream. We're gonna have to pay to the swear jar and donate it to St. Jude Children's
I'm
Hospital.
gonna have to like come up with a list of backhanded compliments for warlocks.
Yeah, good idea. One time I used to have a boss, and I went into his office to work on his computer, and next to his desk he had this book that was how to write referrals for ex-employees without actually giving them compliments. It's hilarious, right? If you think about it, because there's like laws in place. You can't like badmouth an ex-employee if somebody calls you
Right.
for a recommendation. Like that's illegal to do. So he had bought a book on how to write referrals that were actually like highly insulting, but was hidden in language that made it legal.
Any chance you have a link to this book?
I'm sure it's Googleable.
I'm gonna have to read that before our raid for sure.
That's
I
prerequisite.
didn't ask him for a recommendation when I left.
Really
Hey,
good.
as the resident warlock co-host today, I will say I'm all for this. I'm all
Okay.
for this.
Okay. Yeah.
Day one warlock, legit. Okay, actual.
Actual day one.
You know, I think this is why we need like a warlock referee in the Discord to be like, hey, whoa, what was that? Was that sarcasm I detected?
That's
Right.
not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I like where your head's at.
This-
Hey, you can stand in my rift any day, okay, guys? You can stand in my rift any day.
This rift
I
pool
got you.
smells of potpourri and piss. It's so delightful.
Penalty.
Penalty on the field, Hefty.
Yeah, the potpourri was good until he went to the piss, and then he just ruined it, right?
So yeah, are we doing
This
every?
warlock
Yard
jump
penalty,
is so
Hefty tap.
versatile. That's amazing, Nocturne. That's great.
Are we doing every raid then in D2 as a warlock? Is that what it was? Yeah, the raidathon.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't know if we're gonna complete some of these.
Oh come on now. There's.
Do you
what
know-
are we
do you
from?
remember how to
My
use-
warlock is at like 760 or something like that.
Do you remember how to do any of the raids? I don't remember all of them.
We'll be fine on the raids.
It'll come back to us.
The raid layers, yeah, those I didn't do a whole lot of.
The same.
Most of the raids
Actually,
now.
the second one,
Yeah.
the second one, I don't think I maybe I only have two or three clears. Honestly, the second one, I didn't do hardly at all.
Of the raid layer?
Yeah,
You talking about the
second
one that had quad power penis?
Yes.
No, that was fire.
That was
No.
Second
yeah,
raid
yeah,
layer?
whatever the one that has like the boss that like drops down on the callus.
Oh yeah.
That's quad power penis.
Despire.
That's quite power penis.
Yep, there you go. All right.
See, it comes right back.
Yeah, that's
Like
true.
a bike. That's great.
That was a hard raid. I think that might have been like the hardest experience I've ever had on a day one raid, where it was just like, it doesn't matter if we get everything perfect, which we are not going to do. We're still not going to beat this. You know?
Yep.
Yeah. That was
The good news is we'll be set up perfectly to just use swords on every single boss because we'll have a billion wells.
Oh wow.
I like
Yeah,
that.
sword everything.
I like that.
Yeah, see, there's the compliments. This allows me to use a sword. I like swords.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we'll all keep falling to our doom.
Oh, the jumping puzzles are going to be amazing. I'm
All about the
excited.
double tap. Double tap. Double tap.
I'm gonna blink. I'm all about the blink. I am, yeah. Like in D1, when I had the option to blink, I would blink on everything. Like King's Fall, I did the ships
I remember.
legit with blink. Mm-hmm.
Mhm. That's pretty good.
Damn.
That one jump, kind of toward the end of the ships.
You got to look directly up.
It's almost like Tefty is experienced as a warlock.
Hunters
Almost as
had
if.
blink. All right.
Day. Back in my day, hunters had to blink.
Yeah, man. So yeah, we're doing the Warlock raid. What else was there? Commitment.
Have you ordered your Alf cosplay?
No,
Tefty?
I still have to do that.
You
I
need
have
to
the
order your
webpage
Alf
open.
cosplay.
Get the,
He's
Yes.
cosplaying as Alf and hosting DCP.
there will be one DCP episode where I'm hosting.
You know, I don't think
Dresses
Briar
Alf.
has his cosplay yet, but I really want Briar to be a like pirate wench. Full makeup
Pirate
again,
wench.
ideally.
Mm, yeah.
Maybe some cleavage going on with some frills.
Yeah.
Yeah. that's what I
My
want.
wife did my makeup on stream, and
Yeah, she
before
did.
she did the makeup, she's like, "I've got these magnetic eyelashes. You cannot lose them, though. They are expensive, and I will be mad." Lost it.
How'd you lose them?
Did you-
Immediately,
did
like,
it-
How expensive.
I don't know.
Did it drop in your beer and did you drink it like mid hot sauce cleanse?
I actually did find it. Like, I think I found it like yesterday, actually, and it was stuck in the
In the paddle?
paddles of my controller. Yeah,
How does that? Wow. Okay.
I don't know, man. It's better not to ask questions. Just, hey, I found it. Awesome.
It's like it's kind of mangled and broken, but well, at least it's
We found it.
at least it's accounted for. That's amazing.
And we're gonna be playing Jackbox games together.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a fun one.
Yeah, those look fun. I'm excited about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It
So-
was, it was such an amazing stream. It was really fun. Like those are always a great time because you feel like you're just doing something so good for like humanity. Like you're just doing something great. Unfortunately, like as soon as we got off, and I think actually it was faster for you guys. I think during the stream, you guys kind of started finding out about the I don't even know what to call it. Like I don't have the language anymore, and like sexual misconduct, I guess would you call it that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of
The allegations
encompasses it
started
all.
coming out. You guys found out about it, I think, from the chat. I couldn't read chat because I was too drunk. So
Classic
I
Briar.
found out about it
I couldn't
later.
read chat. I was too drunk.
Like basically, like right after we logged off, I looked at Twitter, and I mean, honestly, I think it was the hardest I've ever had. The hardest time I've ever had being in like the Destiny community was over the weekend. Just watching people's stories come out was so freaking heartbreaking. Everything from like actual rape allegations to allegations of child pornography being swapped over Discord servers. just it was like one thing after another, and it just kept coming, and it expanded outside of the Destiny community and got into the gaming community in large. And I gotta say, on Father's Day, which was Sunday, like I was sitting there watching a video that a streamer had made about her rape story, and I'm sitting there crying. I swear to God, I think I might have had like a small nervous breakdown on Sunday. Like it was so much to take on, and this isn't even stuff that happened to me. This is just watching other people's heartbreaking freaking stories.
Yeah.
It was awful. It was really awful.
Yeah, it was, and it was, it got to the point over the weekend where one after the other, it was just, here's my story, read with the twit longer. I'm ready to speak out. I can't be silent anymore. And it was just tweet after tweet. And I wanted to read all of them because I wanted to know, I wanted to know exactly what was going on. I wanted to know who's been affected and who's been doing this stuff. And it's definitely got to me, and I know a lot of us, because a lot of these people we know, this is something that it started with the Destiny community and then expanded outwards to the gaming community, and it was so many people that I knew and consider friends on both sides, both who were accusing and who were abusing. It was both, so it was heartbreaking across the board. And there's still even more stuff coming out, more stories are coming out. And definitely take a break for your own mental health, because this is going to be a catalyst for change. It needs to be, because this can't happen anymore. But it's going to be a long journey to really make some big change, and you need to be healthy for that. So make sure to look after your own mental health as well. Yeah,
the shock factor is very abrasive, like especially when you know people, or when you have been in people's chats, and like you think you're seeing one side and realizing there's this dark other side that's been there, not like suddenly, but has been there the whole time. And when you start adding those things up, that's when that like anxiety / nausea can kick in, because you're like, Jesus, have I been duped? Or like, have I been fooled this long? And like, it's crazy to see all the stuff that's come out, because it's definitely not just like a 1-off or a 2-off or 3-off or whatever type of thing. It's like a lot of stories in the gaming industry. And not to say that the gaming industry is like exclusive in that sense of these stories, because it is in like all industries, but especially entertainment industries. There's a lot of people that get some sort of power, or this idea of power, and then think they have control over people. And it's really disgusting, because it's like, for the people who are affected or who are abused, the idea of talking is extremely risky. It's traumatic. Like if they come out and then suddenly the fan base of the one that's being accused decides to attack that person, that's like a whole nother set of trauma that kicks in for these people who are trying to like share their story and be like, hey, I don't want other people to experience what they've had happen. So it's crazy. Like I said, it's like nausea, anxiety kicks in from realizing this stuff, and then I guess rebuilding your emotional like structure around the community, because like you don't necessarily want to just delete the community and move on. Like that's not healthy either, right? Like you need to recover from trauma, especially when it's mental, and this is technically a mental trauma.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's been really tough. And one thing I will say is that it has been really good to see just how much support these people have received. Because I would say even 5 years ago, as sad as it is to say, they wouldn't have received this much support. So it shows that we have made some strides in things being understood more and accepted more, and understanding how traumatic it can be and how important it is to believe people. Because speaking out, if someone's your manager, you're someone who has influence or power over you, of course you're going to be scared to talk out. If they're a huge creator, that's terrifying, because their whole community is of course going to want to believe the person that they've been supporting for so long. It's really scary. So it's been really great to see how many people have come out in support. I know when we did our first stream, which was on Monday, I did my first stream, we had a big talk about it. And there were a lot of people who were sharing their stories, a lot of men who have been in abusive relationships, in manipulative situations. Their manager had used their power to get what they want out of them. It happens to everyone. And I think it's really important that people have been able to speak out and now feel comfortable to share their stories, and they're being supported, and people are starting to heal. Because keeping it in, you can go to therapy and all of that, but it's very hard to heal from it when you haven't expressed it.
Mhm.
It's very, very difficult. And yeah, I would say if you supported anyone, whether it's people who have spoken out about it already or people who are not ready to speak out about it, you showing support really is making a huge difference to them being able to heal. So thank you for anyone that just dropped even just like a heart on one of the messages or anything. It really does make a difference. It really does.
Yeah. I will say also that I think that this type of reckoning is a long time coming, because these people have been in the communities at large for a long time, and I know people change, obviously, but that doesn't give you a pass. That doesn't mean like, oh well, people change, so it'll be fine or something like that. Like, no, there needs to be a reckoning on this stuff, and there needs to be an awareness that people need to be held accountable for their actions. And so I think that goes to say that when you see bullshit happening in your immediate surroundings, you need to call it out. Don't be afraid to be the one that is calling it out. People need to stand up for basic rights, right? Isn't it weird to say that it's basic rights, but that's what it is. Like, don't take advantage of people, right?
It's also been a really good learning opportunity for everyone to look at themselves and look at the positions that they hold in with power and influence. Because I think especially us, right? Like, I look at myself and I'm like, I'm just an idiot who plays games on the internet and like talks about stuff. But there are people who do put creators on a pedestal, and they're their idol. They watch them all the time. They love them. And just thinking about, what if as a creator, I don't think you can really try and flirt with them or push something with them, because your position of power, right? It's the same as if you're a manager of someone.
Mm-hmm.
If you hold any position of power over someone, you have to be so careful, because you have the ability to make people feel uncomfortable and pressured into doing stuff that they don't want to do, and they don't feel comfortable speaking out. So I think it's been a really good learning time and reflection time of how can I make sure that I do better, so I don't make people feel uncomfortable. I don't put anyone in a position where they don't feel good or anything like that. So it's, as good as you might not be a predator or doing any of the really bad stuff, but I think it's always good when this stuff comes out to look at yourself and how you are using your power and your influence, no matter what you do.
Absolutely. I was saying earlier before the show, like the last 6 months, right, of all the crazy stuff that's been happening this year, I feel like I've grown so much as a human. Black Lives Matter. Like, I've always been, pro-human, like regardless of your race, your nationality, your gender, your sexual orientation, like I don't care, like whatever we're all the same, right? But I always have to, like, after like seeing, the videos and hearing about the stories and seeing the things and seeing both sides, like the fact that there's sides to social injustice and rights, realizing that, to your point, Watts, like I do have a voice. I need to pick sides. I need to stand up with my friends and people that are behind these messages. And then this weekend was another reminder of that. Like, of course, these women are my friends, and I need to stand with them. And I like Tefty, like you said, like, you see the bullshit, call it out. Like, that's something that I've failed to do a lot in my life. Always trying to avoid conflict and be the nice guy, be everyone's friend, and realizing that you can't just be everyone's friend, because if you're friends with this person, then you're friends with this person. And this is a lot of learning this year, for sure, for me.
For sure, yeah.
A lot of growth.
I think that's the biggest takeaway for everybody. It's like a lot of learning.
Yep.
A lot, like, growth and learning and perspective and listening has to take place in order for things to get better. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that happened over the weekend. Then it made it feel like June was We had another June in the middle of June.
It was it's so exhausting. I didn't even realize until yesterday where I was like, I don't think I can even open my eyes. I'm so tired. I need to just have a moment of I just need to sit here and eat some cake and just do nothing and not be surrounded by everything. But I'm definitely still reading all of the stories, understanding the importance of everything, learning, taking it all in. And I know Monday stream for me really felt like we put all of this stuff out, like this big purging of everyone's emotional trauma and physical trauma and getting it all out. And then it really did feel like on our Monday stream that we were kind of healing from it together as a community. And that's something that we can focus on that is really beautiful, that all of this has happened. It's out there now and people can actually heal and we can create a better, stronger community.
Yeah.
I hope. I want to try really hard to make that happen because this stuff is absolutely not okay.
No.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Not to keep on the subject, but like it goes deeper into other companies too. Companies having a lot of them are like content relations managers that have just straight up abused their power with content creators. I mean, that's just crazy, right? And yeah, I don't know. I think if I were to give anybody advice going up against something like that is do not sell yourself for those type of gains because they're going to be hollow. Like, and it's not worth it. Call that person out if somebody's making inappropriate suggestions for gains in an industry. Like you're valued way higher. Value yourself higher, you know?
Yeah, it's really important. And there's a lot of people in this industry who are insecure, you know, they've just got their first break, their first opportunity. And right when they get that first opportunity, someone's like, hey, if you want to keep these opportunities, you're going to have to do this, or I want you to do this. And it's awful. And the more we have people speaking up about it, the more that it's normalized that you bring that up right away, you go and tell the person above them what they've been doing, then the more people are going to feel empowered to keep doing that and have that be the precedent that we set.
Yep.
And that's what I want. It's going to obviously not change overnight, but I really hope that that's what we can work towards with people just feel empowered to speak up and say this isn't okay when they're not comfortable.
Yep. I want to point out also that if you were in a position to get a potential contact where you're potentially getting a gain from something, that doesn't mean that's the only one that's going to come in the future. Like you're already doing something right? So if
people are hopping aboard your train, not the opposite.
Exactly.
People are seeing an opportunity in you. Mm-hmm. It's not the opposite.
Exactly. So when you see a path and it looks murky and devious, pick another path. There's going to be another one. It may seem like there's no other paths at the moment. Like things can change dramatically in a day, in a week, in a month. Like you just don't know what's going to open up to you. And if you're open to those potential pathways that will be better than a dark pathway, choose a better pathway. I know it's easier said than done. I get that, but yeah.
I think Pete also brings up a good point of that's why inclusion is so necessary, because the gaming world is so male dominated. And, you know, you're looking at things coming out from Ubisoft, IGN, like everywhere. It's across the board of men being in power, and then a woman comes along who's, you know, just new to the company or new to the industry, and they take advantage of that. And it's happened the other way around too. There's been women who have done that to men. But if you have more people involved in stuff, like more people of color, more women, more everything, it does make people feel more comfortable standing up. It's very difficult when you are walking into a boys club or a girls club and something happens to you, you feel really scared to speak up about that, because they have like this code together, right? They have this bro code where it's how do you tell them that their friend did this thing to you?
Yeah.
It's really difficult.
Yep. So,
Mixer.
Yeah. Mixer. That's right. I forgot. Oh my God, Mixer shut down this week.
More bad news.
Or I mean, it's shutting down next month, but it got announced. Yeah, it's crazy. Like all that was going on, and then that was Monday, right? Yeah, that they announced that Mixer was getting getting the
I
axe.
couldn't believe it. I thought someone was trolling me. They were like, and Mixer's shutting down. I was like, what? And I know that's not necessarily a Destiny thing, but I do want to just say that if you see people in the directory with like just came over from Mixer or something in their title, just go show them some love, because I can't even imagine how difficult it is to build this community and then just not even get a heads up, but have to just move your whole community to a different platform. So just go say hi to them. Yeah. Yeah.
They didn't get a heads up, right? It's like there was a tweet that was an announcement, and that was the first people streaming on Mixer heard that
and
the
a lot of Mixer
platform was
employees
shutting
too.
down and being moved over to Facebook Gaming. Facebook Gaming. Like, oh, your platform's getting shut down and moving over to Facebook Gaming.
Surprise, motherfucker!
I
heard you like blue, so here's another platform that's blue.
This is blue. There's blue.
Oh, you punched me in the face, and you were wearing brass knuckles. Awesome.
Oh man, what a crazy my heart goes out for everyone on Mixer, especially ones that were like financially stable. Like at that point had built a community that was actually like supporting them and making it a full-time thing. Like that's extremely heartbreaking. Yeah.
It really is.
And
you know, it's
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say it as someone who has switched platforms, I started my streaming career on YouTube Gaming. You know, I dabbled with Twitch for my PlayStation back in D1 days. But then when YouTube Gaming got announced, I had a YouTube channel subs. I was like, oh, this is great. I'm not starting at zero on Twitch. I'll stream on YouTube Gaming. It's gonna be, it's YouTube rival for Twitch. Like it's gonna be great. And I gave it about 2 years, and I was working directly with YouTube and the beta testing stuff. And when it wasn't working out, I made the switch to Twitch. Like it's hard. Like you assume everyone's going to support you, or you assume everyone's going to come with you. There's definitely some platform agnostic people. And I mean, I think we're all guilty. It's now on multiple platforms, and you have your home, you have base, you have what's familiar, you have your bookmark set, you have that sort of stuff. So it's hard, and I definitely feel for the Mixer creators, especially the ones who already moved from another platform, like they moved from Twitch to Mixer, or they moved from YouTube to Mixer or whatever, and like they already were, that was their second chance, or that was their second growth, and now that again, like I definitely feel for them for sure.
Yeah, that's tough.
Even if you're not on Mixer, it sucks to just see the competition for Twitch go away, because as consumers, like or as users of the platform, I definitely want to see competition. I want to see competition for YouTube, which they just don't have. I want to see competition for Twitch. I want to see competition that make all these companies, fight for the business.
Yeah.
Because we've seen what happens when they get complacent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not good. Competition is definitely better.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So if you see the Mixer folks in the Destiny community, go show them some love, because I've been hanging out in a bunch of streams. I put out a tweet of, hey, if you're in the Destiny community and you've come over from Mixer, just give me your channel. I want to stop by. And I've been lurking in some people's channels and chatting in some people's channels, and they're great. Like there are some amazing people that I found. There was actually one person who's called Troy, and he went to PAX when we were all at PAX. And apparently before he came to PAX to say hi to all of us, Pope Bear was giving him advice on where to buy a ring through his stream on Mixer. So Pope was in Troy's stream on Mixer. He's like, give me advice on where to get a ring. So Troy comes and meets us, and he mistakes Tefty for Pope Bear. He got him mixed up.
Easy to do, because they're both really small.
That's what I said. I was like, they're both really short. I get it.
Oh my
God. And he said he was so embarrassed that he ran away immediately because he was so embarrassed.
Oh, you shouldn't have done that. We should have talked about how easy it is to mistake these two people. It's constant for me.
He wanted a poster.
Man.
He's like, I wanted a poster so bad. I was so embarrassed. I just ran. So that was like a really interesting, funny story to hear.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, go check out people who say that they're from Mixer. There's some really great folks out there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Destiny.
Well, that's the show,
Destiny?
guys. Nice seeing y'all.
It's kind of a light week for Destiny. I mean, we had
It
a
is kind of a light week.
there
TWAB.
was story. Eris spoke with the darkness.
True.
She said hello. Oh, there was the knight that we all love, the super fancy knight. He was in the story mission.
Oh yeah,
He
he
said
was.
hello.
What's his name?
Ooh,
Alakur.
Alacool. The Dark Blade.
that's totally yeah. I told when I saw him, I was like, oh yo, it's Alacool's little brother.
Every time
That's one of
I
my
see them,
favorite strikes of all time.
yeah,
Same,
it's so good. Bring
same.
it back. I would actually be totally fine with them bringing them back.
Yeah.
Like
be fun.
repurchase it, I just love that thing.
And
Well-
wasn't
Every-
there a rifle you got from him? Wasn't there a strike specific? Was it a fusion rifle?
Fusion
or-
rifle.
It was like
yeah.
something
Dark
known,
Blade
wasn't
Spite.
it? Yeah, that's
Mhm.
it. Oh, yeah, dude.
Couldn't you also get gauntlets?
Alacool.
I feel like you could get gauntlets from him too. Oh, maybe it was a helmet. Helmet and a.
I think
fusion
helmet
rifle.
was the
Helmet,
other
yeah,
guy.
it was-
Oh yeah.
No,
The other guy was it that guy? Or was there another guy?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
that
been
was
a
the
while.
Oh, there was a Titan helmet, but then the other guy though he shot off his head and he went all crazy was a hunter helmet. I remember.
That wasn't the Dark
Got
Blade.
it.
Because he would berserk after you popped his helmet off.
Yeah.
in the
There's
dark.
Apparently there's multiple guys that do that.
That's lore, by the way.
Yeah, that's your lore minute.
I mean the Malik helm. Yes, that's what I mean. Thank you,
Yeah.
Toes.
Yeah.
While we're trying to figure out lore, could you guys please put in the chat what the hell the lore was about this week?
We
Because
killed
I did
another
the story
shrieker.
mission. I even read the lore. I read the lore from the book that drops when you do the mission, and it was really cool, and I was excited, and it was fun, but I've forgotten everything.
There was another shrieker. We said, nah, shrieker, killed it. And then Eris was like, darkness. Blah, 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 blah. You know?
We're so good at killing streakers. We're like the best at it.
We're professional. And we got like 8 more or something like that. And then we got like a baker's
We also
dozen.
are lore professionals.
Yes.
Have
Clearly.
you seen us?
Clearly. Lore
Clearly.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean,
No, I'll admit,
see-
though, I do like the weekly story missions. I like that the mission itself updates and like we we're going in different parts. And do we? I don't apologize. I Bife and you guys to talk about it, but like the guy that talks to us when we go to the dark realm, like, do we know who that guy is?
It's Nokris.
yeah, Knockers.
Oh, it's not Chris. Okay.
Nokris
Yeah.
has a weird ass voice. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm.
I'm a little
I
disappointed.
think it's sexy.
He's like
Is it Tom Skerritt? Is it Tom Skerritt?
he's got this like
Oh, man.
disheveled wizard thing going on, right?
I think he's pulling it off.
He
Or-
sounds weird.
War torn wizard, jaded from all the fights.
He's bringing the sexy back to wizards.
So basically, Forcado says Eris told us to research the darkness to eventually try to use it to our advantage. There you go.
That lines up. That
I
adds
totally-
up. I think
That
we're gonna
leads
do
to
exactly
September.
that.
I believe you.
Completely picked up all that while I killed that shrieker. 100%.
Did you guys see the Black Lives Matter pin and emblem that they are selling on the
Hell
budget
yeah.
store?
Got it.
Hell yeah.
Pretty neato. The
Grab
pin
it.
hasn't arrived yet, but I got the emblem and I'm rocking that.
Yep.
That one is added to the Pride pin that they were selling as well. Are they still selling the Pride pin? Or are they selling that all month?
Don't know. Probably, yeah, right? Yeah. You get a
Yeah.
Bought both pins at the same time. Just yeah.
yeah.
We're one on each chest.
Bam.
Each nipple,
Yeah.
ideally.
Each
Yeah.
nipple piercing. Yeah, they come with
Hang 'em off
Yeah, the emblems are great.
nipple loops.
I love that you said it, Tef, in a previous episode. You were saying how you love how you buy the physical pin, but then right away you get the emblem. Your idea of like them doing stuff in Eververse, like
Mhm.
directly, like imagine a whole Pride suite of like a Pride, Sparrow
Oh
that like a
my
rainbow
God.
shoots out the back. You
Yeah.
know, like an armband, a butt
Oh my
cloth, a rainbow butt cloth for the Titans, a rainbow hood. Like, how
Oh,
dope would
yes.
that be, right?
I want
And the
all of
rainbow-
that.
Rainbow cape. Yeah.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
That'd be-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. And then, so I think that's the at least they do the emblems. I think the emblems are really cool. Because like you said, it shows it in game that you support these causes and stuff. And I collect the pins. I have a bunch of pins, and I haven't quite figured out yet what to do with them yet because my backpacks and the stuff that I wear doesn't really have a good place for them. But I'm collecting them for that one day. But I wanted the emblems for sure.
One day where I go on like a week-long hike and I have a backpack full of
like
pins.
20 pounds of pins on rattling around.
Just one of these
it's
days.
Your cougar repellent. Clink, 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 clink.
Yeah, the emblem stuff is great.
For Teppy in the woods.
Yeah, exactly. I totally think they should do more stuff with the Eververse to support great causes for that, because I think a lot of people would support through the game. I really do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's really cool. You can buy that now. Go to Bungie.com or Bungie.net and go to their shop.
Bungie store.
Yeah, but Bungie store, you can just add the emblems or the pins to your cart, buy it, and then you should get an email with the code basically right away, which you then redeem in your account, and then it should be available in your general tab under the collections for the emblems.
And all of the profits are going to charity. Briar, do you have the name of the charity in front of you?
I have the TWAB open. I'll get it right
It's
here.
in the TWAB, and there's a direct link to it. So if you do want to look up on the charity and see exactly what they do and where your money's going, you can go
The
to
Equal
TWAB.
Justice Initiative.
There you go.
Nice.
Equal Justice Initiative.
Awesome.
Yeah, so definitely bought that. I bought that right away.
Yeah,
as soon as I
same.
could.
Yo, it's a badass emblem. Like, regardless of like what it represents, it's
really
just
good.
a badass emblem
Yeah.
with like a hand holding onto a lightning bolt, and then the script underneath it that says Black Lives Matter. It's just like, that's kind of cool just on its own.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Hell
And
yeah.
then
Really
the
good
extra meaning of it makes it even cooler.
Yeah, super cool.
Was there anything else in the TWAB? There was those
The Iron
Twitch
Banner.
emblems. Did you guys see that?
Iron Bananas come back.
Yeah, Iron Banner is coming back next week. Those two new perks. What was it? Iron Gaze and
Iron Gaze and Iron Grip, which are really interesting because they have like plus and negatives about them. So Iron Grip improves weapon stability at the cost of reload speed, and then Iron Gaze improves weapon target acquisition at the cost of range. So I like this kind of stuff where it's if you can get a really big bump in one stat, it has to be a significant bump though. Otherwise you'll be like, why don't I just use something else?
Right.
But yeah, I like this. If it's a significant bump and you're like, ooh, I really do like my aim assist. I do. Really
I
like
just like that they're bringing like unique perks.
Yes.
Again, you guys talk about this all the time, but like you guys mentioned about the fact that there's Iron Banner perks now. This is like them tipping their toes into, maybe we'll see some raid perks in the future, or we'll see maybe some, against Minions of the Darkness, where they bring back those types of things that you can only get from specific, or not necessarily perks for the activities, but you only get them in the activities. That kind of stuff. I think is really cool.
yeah, it's needed. It really is. Like, in order to keep the loot chase interesting and not just the same stuff over and over, they really do need to have these perks that start fortifying inside the activities, so you can feel differences in there. Yeah. So Iron Banner, is there a weapon? What was it? Sidearm and like auto rifle?
Yeah. So they're reissuing, I guess. I get reprised. That's the word. I found the word.
Reprise.
Their reprised weapons are the Forward Path and the Fool's Remedy. So those are coming back, and it's worth noting that all the weapons listed below are considered reissued and will have season of arrival max infusion caps. So that's Shining Sphere.
What's the difference between
the Raven.
reprised and reissued?
So I think the reprised ones are ones that we didn't have in the loot pool before. So they're saying that they're bringing these back. And then the reissued ones, they're just saying that these are the ones that will have season of arrival max infusion caps. So Criminal's Dagger, Criminal's Dagger, Orwing's Maul, Bite of the Fox,
Daggle.
Talons of the Eagle. Criminal's Daggle.
I want a daggle. I'm gonna be grinding for a daggle.
No, I'm excited though for the auto rifle to come back because right now auto rifles 600 RPM auto rifles are like really really good.
Yeah.
And, this is the same archetype as before. This adaptive auto rifle. So I think it's great that they bring this back and gives us two new ones in the loot pool because the other ones that Watts mentioned were already in the loot pool, like Criminal's Dagger,
Right.
Orleans Mall. These have always been in there anyway. So they're just basically putting them up a season. They, aren't getting set as
Yeah. So for our live listeners, Clintus is cutting in and out a little bit here and there. Might be having a little internet issues here and there. But
I got on my desk right. Call me ISP.
new photo. There's also going to be no SBMM in Iron Banner next week.
Yeah, which is when poor Jimmy rolls up with his 970 light level, and we're like, "Hello, I am 1060." We'll see how that goes. We will see. We'll see. We'll find out.
Poor Jimmy.
Jimmy, Tommy, Timmy.
This is all he had left, and we're taking it away.
Watts, you had said that the artifact power doesn't work in Iron Banner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same as Trials.
Same as Trials. So it's your raw power that you have to look at for how you're going to deal with Iron Banner this week, or next week, I should say. You guys going to play it? Iron Banner?
Yeah, I'll play.
The main source of pinnacle power.
Oh, yeah.
I grind all 3 characters. Just because I love PvP, and it's the PvP, other than Trials, but, for just 6v6 match made, I love it. And it's the only reason why I will try to keep my other 2 characters up, because I am a Warlock main. And so I keep my characters up by doing Iron Banner. So just to try to keep it. So yeah, I grind all 3 characters through Iron Banner every time. I love it. I look forward to it.
Oh, nice. Okay.
It depends on if I finish murdering everybody in Seattle with a bow and a shiv. I'm playing Last of Us 2 right now, and I'm about halfway through it, and I am completely engaged with it.
Oh,
and my wife is too. We're playing it together. Like, she doesn't want to miss any of the story. So as soon as I finish that, I'll definitely want to play some Iron Banner. But
yeah.
I mean, Seattle. There's a lot of people in Seattle that need killing.
You get to go to PAX after all.
Like,
a lot of them scars. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah. Was there anything else in the TWAB?
So there were actually 2 really, really good movie of the weeks. There's a person in our community called Sammy Glitch who he animates stuff. So he did a really short, it's a 39-second animation of Guardian talking to Zavala, and it was really funny. I highly recommend checking that out. And then I don't know if you guys remember when it was one of them were Pope Bear, but the bunch of Guardians in real life, the IRL Guardian, were doing like attacks from Destiny. There's now a Destiny cosplayer edition, which is Pass the Ghost. So they're passing the ghost to each other and being in full Destiny cosplay.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. Both of these videos were really, really cool.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Recommend both of them.
And speaking of movie of the week, and not to bring it back into Donnersville again, but I liked how Bungie came out and said, like, if you are one of the accused in the Destiny community and you have a movie of the week emblem, expect it to be gone very shortly.
Nice.
Yep.
I love the fact that Bungie's just taking a strong stance and being like, hey, get out. Yeah.
Oh man, they were really no nonsense over the weekend. They were just like, "Hey, check your communities and make sure that there's no assholes in it." Basically, make sure that you police your communities and that no one's doing anything bad. And if you do movie of the week, you're not going to have the emblem. If you are doing any of the bad stuff, you're not going to get world's first in a raid. So they immediately came out and talked about it. They weren't any of this like have to wait till Monday when corporate Monday begins. They were just right away like, no, screw this.
Committee. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Should we do Twitter questions?
Oh, I didn't write them any down this week. I didn't think we'd get to them.
Can
you just skip it this week?
Briar.
Is it because you were drunk, Briar?
Is it from your hangover?
Still hungover from Friday. Listen, the hot sauce was real hot. Okay.
We actually had like an unbelievable amount of Twitter questions this week. Like usually I make a list of almost all of them at around 6 to 7 pages. Like, big spaces and easy to read. I got up to 10 pages today, and I just gave up. Like there was plenty more to read. So I'm sorry if I didn't get to your question.
Incredible.
So
you guys
again.
made Briar quit.
That's hard to do.
I just gave up.
Impressive.
I rage quit Twitter.
Let's kick it off.
Achievement Raider says, last night firing range raided a Guardian who has made the change from Mixer to Twitch. Seeing the community just lay down the support for this Guardian was amazing. Does DCP have a master list of awesome Guardians and sub communities to check out? Anybody got any recommendations? I know Watts, you already gave a couple, right?
I'd have to get their actual names instead of just calling them by their names. But if you look on Twitter, even if you don't have access to Twitter and you check out Glad's tweet, there's a bunch of people who have put out tweets. I put out a tweet where it's basically a call saying, hey, if you move from Mixer to Twitch and you're part of the Destiny community, leave your link. If you go through there, you'll find so many people that are really, really awesome. I know Aries has been in a bunch of chats recently of the people moving from Mixer, so he has a bunch of...
I don't recognize that name.
I'm sorry,
Aries?
Holly Modness Aries the second.
That's
Of course.
Yeah. Of course. Sorry. Have to use the full name.
Now I know who you're talking about.
But Aries has been in a bunch of Holly Modness Aries the second has been in a bunch of chats and he's been watching streams, so he has some good recommendations as well. Maybe we'll try throwing some of them in chat if you're watching live, so you can go follow some people.
Cool.
Colin Burns says, hi everyone, do you think it would help the power grind fatigue so many people are talking about it if some of the legendary gear is the season pass we guaranteed to drop at specific power level? Catch that?
The season pass drops like a bit higher, right? So it helps a little bit. The season pass
Usually
drops.
on level
It
for you,
creeps.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, it creeps.
Yeah, it creeps. Isn't
And
that's-
honestly, I like it because it allows us to at least try to fill some gaps.
Yeah.
Like I am constantly, every time I get an engram, and especially too with the umbrals where you're able to select either guns or armor, I'm always like trying to mid max. Like I know the power grind is a hot topic right now. I always look forward to power grind just because it's a something to look like. I love the seeing that number go up, right? I'm just a numbers guy, so I was like, I love seeing that number go up, and obviously it needs a retune. Obviously everyone's hoping that September we get something different. But yeah, I like that there's options for that. Like you can season pass, select pieces of armor to fill in gaps. There's still the certain vendors that every day that or every week that have at 0. Yep. So we have those options, but I know one of the complaints is that we shouldn't have to need those options. We should have other mechanics in there to help us choose the power path.
Yeah, there's two schools of thought right now of like, do you make power grind like a end game activity and like D1, it's the raid or the nightfall and that's it for the power grind, or do you keep the system right now where like there's power drops everywhere in the system and now pinnacles? And it's like diluting the experience between like the chase for power. I don't know what the proper solution is, because I know a lot of people were stuck at Forever 29 in D1 days, and that killed some people's momentum. But this momentum right now feels very bland if you've been playing the game for a couple of years straight. Because it's like, oh, same activity again. Okay.
I don't know what the answer is.
Yeah, I think this might be one of those things that just needs to be changed arbitrarily every once in a while, because people are just going to get sick of whatever system's in place. MSNBC, Fox, and CNN brainwashes you, says, do you believe Destiny would have been better off if it started as a PvE game only? I believe PvP holds the game back in many ways due to balancing.
I don't know. Like a lot of people fell in love with Destiny's PvP and have found a home with Destiny's PvP, and Trials was massive. So I would say no. I totally get that sentiment though of, we could have these crazy things and not have to worry about PvP balance. But I don't think overall the game would be better.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, the appeal of Destiny, and the reason I got into Destiny was because I could go find all this cool stuff in PvE and then go into the Crucible and use it against other Guardians. I thought that was amazing. It was so unique at the time. It still is pretty unique if you think about it.
Yeah. The problem is
Absolutely.
when people try to make it an esport. It's like the game needs its PvP component, but don't make it an esport. Stop trying to make it like the be all end all measurement of your e-penis. E-penis.
It's a fun, crazy sandbox to be fun and crazy in.
Yeah.
I think that's it right there. Is as long as you realize what it is. I think a lot of the biggest PvP complaints is the supers, the exotics, the things that make Destiny, and give it that fantasy are the things that people are like, well, like with the sweats, when the sweat community's like, take that away, to make it somewhat competitive. And it's like, that's what will make it'll never be that esport that they want it to be, unless he comes out with an esport mode where it like flattens, almost like locks things in like Call of Duty does, or Rainbow, and like select vote in game, no super, no exotic, and then you have to comply with it. But I mean, I'm with Briar. Like when Destiny when I first was told, the first thing I was their PvP, because at the time I played was COD multiplayer. Like that's literally the only one I played. I bought the last couple of CODs before Destiny and didn't even play the campaign because it's like I just wanted to grind and get as I could. And I'll admit, I have said this numerous times, like when I got into Destiny, I had to like play the story campaign to get to level 4 to get to the Crucible,
Yeah,
like,
same.
you could just jump into the Crucible. I was like, what is this crap? And then when I got in there, I was like, what is this shit? What did he just kill me with? A golden gun? What the hell is that? Like this Nova bomb was dope, but like what? How do I like And I was like, I didn't really like Destiny at first because I was like, this is nothing like Call of Duty. And then it wasn't until I started playing with my friends and playing the PvE side, and like I got this dope weapon in a strike, and then I could take it in the Crucible. I'm like, dude, no one else has this gun. Look at this. This is so cool. So I think there's definitely a component to that.
Or when VOG first dropped, I got Praetus Revenge. Another person got Found Verdict, and we like went into the Crucible and started using those guns in the Crucible. It was like, whoa, this is crazy, and people were dying. The thought would be like, Praetus Revenge? Where the hell do you get that? Like, well, you got to go raid.
If someone had the Mythic class that was completely busted in PvP,
right?
I was like, whoa, what is that? Those are the days. Suros was insane. Yeah, and those days were really, really special with Destiny. Of this new gun that you'd never seen before, and it was really exciting. I love those times.
Well, and we didn't have all the tools that we have today either, like Light GG, where you can look up roles, and there wasn't a bazillion creators creating videos on how to get things. Like you legit were like, where did you get that? Like let me PSN message you. It's like, where did you get that? Or you see someone with a gun, you're like, wait a minute, it can perk. Holy crap! Like the is when you had to actually like talk to people instead of looking stuff up on the internet.
Yeah.
Trudgeon Lolo says, I think for $10 every month or every few months, we get a good amount of content. Why does it seem like Destiny has to be in a make it or break it mode every fall because people can't temper their expectations? Because negativity drives clicks, Lolo. Like, how am I supposed to make a living if I'm always like, this is the best game ever? I'll see you tomorrow.
I'm having fun. Yay. People like drama.
You got clickbait, all right? It's a fact. If you're going to survive.
That's pretty much me. Every time someone comes to my chat room, what are your thoughts on this? I'm like, like they're holding the microphone. Like, is that it? Do you have anything else to comment? Like, I like it. It's fun. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah. This is why I don't review things. So I'm just like, I like it. Feels good. Very fun. What? But why? What are the stats on it? Is it better than this thing? And 2-point more aim assist. I like it. It's fun. It feels good.
I like the way it clicks.
Yeah, I like the sound. It goes. Brah, 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 brah. That's the new auto rifle.
Ghost in New York says, thoughts on Xbox getting the rights to market Destiny? There obviously won't be exclusive content, but do you think that will help the community going forward? A recent check on Charlemagne shows a tally of daily numbers from the week. I was surprised by this. I meant to copy this into the thing, but it was like the same amount of Xbox players as PC players, and then fairly higher amount of PS4 players, and then a very low amount of Stadia players, obviously. But what's funny?
I don't know.
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing at all.
Hey, Riot's over there. He's holding it down. He's holding it down over there.
Yeah, that's true. Riot is kicking ass.
I hear
over there.
it's the premier place to play Trials.
I heard
It
you,
is.
Jeff. You were thinking about it. You were like,
I
no
was.
lag playing against the French. I'm all about this.
It definitely. I was like, damn, this sounds like a dream. I need to try this out.
60 FPS.
Right? You load it up in your browser, dude.
While laying
Yeah.
on the couch in your underwear. Let's go.
Yeah.
That's how I like to do most of my most fun things.
What was what was the question?
What was the
though?
question?
The question was, I don't even remember. Thoughts on Xbox
Oh.
getting the right to market
Yeah,
Destiny?
right. So
Oh.
I actually hadn't heard this yet. They've got
I have
the
no
rights.
idea what this is, to be honest.
Microsoft has the rights to market Destiny.
I thought this was a
What
rumor
does that
that's
even
been going
mean?
around for a few months.
Oh, so this isn't confirmed. Yeah, I don't know. Like if
Might put a
I don't know
more
what that
off,
means.
rumor,
I mean, obviously, Spencer and Parsons have been talking a lot together. They did the co-stream, months ago. I mean, I guess it's almost maybe a year ago now. Obviously there's connections there with Microsoft and Bungie. I wouldn't be surprised if there is something like that. Maybe like a Destiny themed Xbox. But I agree. I don't think Bungie's ready to get back in to bed with somebody, and like give them kind of any kind of exclusivity. If anything, it's just going to be more like, cosmetic stuff, or like I said, maybe an Xbox or something like that. But I wouldn't be surprised if there is something that's announced between Bungie and Microsoft around the September.
so they
Clintus,
usually
you sold me
Yeah.
my second Xbox 4.
yeah, right. There's usually there's usually like a console associated with those commercials, but maybe that's strictly a publishing type of thing, where they show, play it on PlayStation or play it on Xbox, whatever type of crap. So it does make sense that they would possibly partner with one of them to be like, hey, like
Right.
if Microsoft's spending money to help advertise, then maybe they can give them like a custom ghost or something like that. I just do not never want to be in the position again where one part of the community has a map or an exotic or a strike, and the other part of the community doesn't get to see that for an entire year. That was garbage, man.
100%.
Yeah, that sucked.
Yeah, I hated that.
And then that strike would never be a Nightfall because it's exclusive, and you can't have that map, that PvP map, ever be on Trials because it's exclusive. It's like, they spend a bunch of money on that stuff in game for those assets, and then only a portion of the community can actually have access to it.
It sucks.
Ooh.
Yeah. Tom, this week in video games, says it seems we're heading towards light versus darkness, heading up to Lightfall, hopefully with a meaningful choice for our Guardian. Thinking about the NPCs in the game, who's going to be on Team Light and who's going to be on Team Darkness. Oh, so like, who are the NPCs going to choose for light or dark? I think they're all going to choose light except for the Drifter, right?
Yeah, aren't they all about the
Yeah.
Traveler? And the Drifter's shady?
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
all up on the Drifter. Or
Yeah.
up on the Traveler.
It's interesting because we hear Harris and Drifter talk, back and forth, which, by the way, absolutely love this season. The two of them going back and forth during those public events.
Mm-hmm. That is
Yeah,
cool.
it's great.
It's like Drifter's already kind of tiptoeing the line, and Eris is like reaching out. She's talking about, like, even with Zavala in that first cutscene we got, was like, we need to be there to, like, when the darkness reaches out, we need to, like, listen when they, So it'll be interesting that there's gonna be like a turning point maybe, or unless both Eris and Drifter go dark, and the Vanguard, Zavala, Ikora are, on the light side, and that's the dividing factor. I don't know if Eris is going to flip when she realizes, when she touches the darkness and goes, oh yeah, no, this isn't for me. And she's like, let's go. Or if the two of them are going to be the team,
She's gonna get, like,
Yeah.
supercharged.
Yeah. But we know that, based on the trailer for Beyond Light, like the two of them, obviously after this season, go to Europa. Like, so we know whatever happens this season, the two of them are staying together, at least to a certain point, unless there is a rift between the two of them, but they both show up, and that's why, like, Eris is like charged up at first and then kind of lets her guard down when he shows up. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe we become the diplomat, or like the diplomatic discussion between the light and dark. The Vanguard and whatever becomes of, if they are joining factions on the darkness. That's interesting. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Donnie Peslis says, what's your wish list for Beyond Light's raid?
Ooh.
Big.
Well, it's
Juicy.
snowy.
Snowy.
I wanna
So
slide.
bring your warm boots and some hand warmers, maybe.
Yeah.
I want to slide.
Maybe there'll be penguins. I want penguins.
Oh, penguins are on my list.
No,
Penguins are on my
and then
list.
when you
Space
go down
penguins.
the slide, the penguins also go down the slide on their bellies. I
Oh, a
want
penguin slide. That sounds great.
Okay, I could get behind that. Yeah, that's great.
I want
Mhm.
penguins.
Do you think it's going to be on Europa?
Yes.
Right.
Good question.
Yeah,
I hope so.
they've done this thing
Yeah.
where like, you go through some crazy portal and suddenly you're in some other space-time rift.
It could be on a pyramid
Yeah.
ship.
Yeah.
Oh,
That would
amazing.
be
that'd
pretty
be
cool.
It's
cool.
on the pyramid ship on Europa.
Yes,
Oh.
that's what I want. We'll get
I've
like-
always
I'm
wanted
buzzing.
a raid to have a 6v6 PvP match as one of the segments. Like
Another
one of the-
raid team comes in.
Yeah, like they're represented in game as like Dark Guardians, like, and
That
they
would be
see
cool.
you as the Dark Guardians, and you
Yeah.
just got to win a PvP match to move on.
That sounds
I hate to say it, man,
God-awful.
but with Drifter involved, it's Gambit Prime 2.0.
Gambit Prime.
That's what it is.
Oh,
That's
I
what it
just,
is.
I just returned Beyond Light.
Yeah, Briar, think about it, man. Think about it. What you're pitching right there is basically Gambit 2.0 in a raid where you have to win to be able to move forward.
I just asked for a refund on Beyond Light.
Like in your dream, when you're like having fun and you're destroying the other team, like, yeah, this is a great idea. And then in practice, it's like, oh my God, they're just using truth. Just end this now.
Juan Carlos Rivera says, "Do you lot believe we might see Aldrin in the Cosmodrome?"
Yeah, so we talked about this, right? Because when there was the first showing of Destiny, which of course the original Destiny story is not what we have anymore. It's not a thing. But we saw him as the crow in the Cosmodrome and he was pointing a gun at you. So I thought it might be kind of cool if just like a little, tip of the hat to where you meet Aldrin in the Cosmodrome. I think that would be really cool if they did that.
That would be
Shit, I'm
ultra
gonna
cool because
say
it does go back to that like kind of I don't even know what you'd call that, like blow up Destiny,
Mm.
Yeah.
and those original art images, but it kind of like shows some love to people who've been around for a long time because they're going to be more likely
That's
to
cool.
remember that stuff. And you got the Cosmodrome coming back, so you got to use it somehow, right?
I just realized that they could have Aldrin also on like the Dark Vanguard. He could be there as well, doing some
The Dark
Absolutely.
Vanguard.
You get the Vanguard. And
But what
then
if he wants to be
Darkness
a good
Vanguard.
boy?
Yeah, sure.
Not buying it.
I feel
not
like him and the
buying it.
Drifter
He has
would get.
pork chop. He has pork chop the ghost. Pork chop is
Pork chop
adorable.
sandwiches.
Now I'm hungry. Thanks.
Yeah, no, I'm starving.
No, the Aldrin storyline or whatever. I know we're all like waiting with bated breath for his return and to find out what direction he's going to go in, like how we feel about him, like all that stuff. And it's just an exciting time. I know you guys have talked about this before. Like it's just an exciting time with like knowing the next 3 years laid out and like, you can kind of just by the title and the visuals that we get from those three, posters, basically like kind of the direction that we're going in. And like hearing like Luke Smith and a few others talk about it, like it just gets so exciting because they brought back the Stranger. Like holy crap! All right, so now we know there's gonna be other characters like Aldrin that they're gonna bring him back and hopefully I hope we get like some actual like. Can you imagine like actual closures on some of these? Like actual, this is the goodbye.
Yeah.
This is the final.
Oh yeah,
No, I
Time.
can't even imagine. It's
I can't imagine. Yeah.
monstrous.
in
6
Destiny.
years, I can't imagine.
James says, "What are your thoughts on no new enemies coming in September? I don't know if that's 100% confirmed or not at this point, but with mention of the Fallen, it seems like another reskin version of enemies already in game."
Yeah, this is definitely not confirmed, right? Like,
No, not confirmed.
And
at
I
all.
don't think Bungie would want to just suddenly show their brand new enemy race in a trailer and be like, "See you in 3 months." Like, I'm pretty sure that's going to be a big reveal. If they're going to reveal it beforehand, it's definitely going to be like an event of some sort online. And
Definitely.
I think it'd be even better if we found out playing it. Suddenly there's a
In
new
game?
enemy race.
That'd
yeah.
be so good.
Yeah.
I mean, they
Well,
want
we
to
know
sell
that
copies.
Well, we know
True.
that the boss or whatever, the person that we're chasing is a Fallen, right? Like they made that comment that
Yep.
at least the person in the trailer at first is a Fallen. So, and what we've seen there's a mix of things, but we know there's like that one robot that drops, like looks like a mech from like RoboCop and stuff. Like there could be some definitely some new stuff. I would love to see. I mean, I assume that there's gonna be Fallen. I assume Fallen is gonna be the main theme, but like maybe there is like a third, because they're on a different planet. They've created something else. So there's penguins, right? Like there's another like race or something there.
Penguin
That they
faction.
control.
Monster, you gonna shoot the penguins? We're just going down
No,
having
absolutely
a good
not.
time.
No, we just befriend them.
Penguins with spikes and like laser beams, and they're gonna kill you if you don't kill them first.
All right, I'm on board now.
You're gonna use stasis to like break them free. There you go. We're gonna save the penguins.
There you go.
Jay Roach says, "Did you notice that all the text in the Drifter's room is backwards, like on containers and boxes?
No, but maybe that's
Oh.
just how he reads. I don't know.
Maybe he's dyslexic.
It's like Da
Maybe it
Vinci.
helps.
Maybe he's Japanese. No, they write down. Wait, they write
Up
down
and down.
and right to the left, right?
Yes. Yep.
Crusader 3456 says, "Do you think seasonal mods need to be tied to certain armor pieces, resulting in them functionally sunsetting?" Seasonal mods.
No.
Yeah, I feel like we need more choices right now instead of limiting it at the moment.
Yeah, I would agree there. Kelly Locke says, "A TWAB on 514 said this: starting in season 12, armor will no longer have a seasonal rotating fourth mod slot. Instead, there will be a mod slot that accepts mods introduced into the game throughout a full year. Is the full year static like Destiny 2 Year 2 mods, or always updating?"
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's a
I
developer
always
question
assume it's
right
gonna be a
there.
rolling calendar year, like season to season.
Yeah.
That's what I assume.
Yeah.
So,
But I have no idea.
so if you get it in the season of the summer season, you're going to be able to use it for a whole year for whatever mods drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I
that's what I
assume.
would assume.
I feel like
Instead of it being like the stuff it is right now, like you can't use mods on certain seasonal stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the way Bungie is going to organize it is beginning of each September or beginning of each Destiny year is a set amount that's going into that year, and then it gets cut off for the following year. I feel like that's how they're going to organize it. It would be better if it was a rolling seasonal year, but
Fragato says, "What is the one feature that you want to see in Europa that is not currently in the game or any other destinations?" Penguins. I think
Penguins.
we nailed that, right?
Yeah.
Knocked it out of the park, I'd say.
Yeah.
more.
Anybody else got a lesser suggestion than penguins?
I want like more raid or like world bosses showing up in the public spaces that are legitimately hard.
Yeah,
That'd be
like
fun.
penguins. Penguin
Penguin
world bosses with the
boss.
spikes and the lasers we talked about.
Yeah.
Try and keep up, Tefty. Things are moving fast.
Talking about the world boss penguin, man, right? Mega penguin.
Taking
Dan says-
penguins, yes.
Oh god.
Dan says, "Of all the planets being taken away, which planet or place on the planets will you miss? Which are you happy to see to go as well?"
You know, I think for me, I think I would miss Io the most just because it's kind of like the home of where all this darkness is happening. It was also where Ikora went to like reestablish her connection with the light. So the Io is kind of important. It's kind of a big
Mhm.
deal.
All the bones and fossils there too have been really
Yeah.
intriguing to me.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm gonna go with the arcology on Titan. I'm sad that that's gone because I always wanted to see that get expanded and the playable space in like a potentially a raid in the arcology would have been sick. I'm sad to see that go.
Same.
At the same time though, I'm
This stuff
happy
could come
that
back
it's
too,
going.
right? Like we could still see that in the future. They could bring
Yeah.
this stuff
We
back.
could. Yeah.
the
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
the vault concept.
They'll bring it back when they allow our guardians to swim so we can take on the space monster in the sea. Methane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please don't do that. So-
I've always been like I know I'm definitely in the minority here, but I love Curse of Osiris for the music the weapons and armor, the shaders, some of my favorite. I love Sagira. I think the Panoptes fight was always better than the Worm God. Like I was sad that was never a strike. The Infinite Force I've always thought was just an underutilized asset. I love the Infinite Force. I love the concept of it. I love like the constant bridges being built and opening the port. I love Mercury for what it could have been. I love the aesthetics of it. So I'm definitely sad to see Mercury go. But I got a question for you guys real quick, if I might throw this out to you guys. What do you guys think is going to happen with them removing those 4 planets? Do you think it's just going to be a video game thing where they just remove them, or do you think it's going to be a story thing? I don't know if you guys have talked about this or not.
I think it's a story thing because of the pyramid ships are being on the locations that are disappearing. So I think it's like a thing of the darkness exploding them. Maybe the Traveler explodes them because they're corrupted. The Traveler destroys it, and then you're like, oh, the Traveler destroyed my home.
It could just be like occupied territory too, that like we just can't go to because it's we no longer have like the the place to land, the place to explore.
The penguins are taking over.
The lore open. Yeah, the lore open so that they could bring it back in the future and we could retake those.
True.
Okay.
That's where I was going. That's kind of what I've always said is like, what if they either like take over the planet where we have to evacuate, we're just like it's a lost cause, go. They disappear for the next couple of seasons, but then imagine them just bringing back one planet for a season and the seasonal content is on that planet. So Io comes back for a season and we've got we find Asher. He's been bunkered down in the lost sector somewhere.
Asher.
Yeah, I know, right?
He didn't escape. He ignored the evacuation.
Nope. He's like, this is get off my lawn, darkness. Like he's being the grumpy old man. But I mean, imagine they bring him back. They bring back these planets, and that's how they bring it back. Like to your point, Briar, like they can bring the planets back seasonally. We can go back to the arcology. We can go back to Io and explore these all the tunnels and stuff. Like that'd be really. I think that would be a smart play for them because they can remove them, retune them, and then reissue them. And just even if they're just small landing zones, right? They don't have to be the full planet anymore. They can just carve it out seasonally.
If they did blow them up, though, imagine the live event. They could blow them up. We could watch it from the tower one at a time. This could be like an 18, 20-hour live event.
I feel like we'd have to be on the planet, witness the missiles coming down, or like the darkness nukes, whatever it is, and then immediately,
guys, we better go. Those missiles are coming.
Yeah, immediately get transmatted back into space as it blows up. Grab some popcorn. This is great.
I think we could run a couple more nightfalls before those missiles get here.
That I never actually thought about that. That's really cool. Interesting concept of it being taken by the darkness, and so we can't even go there. So it's territory that's occupied. Yeah, that's cool.
I know everyone talks about blowing them up, but I feel like if you blow up a planet, they literally can't bring it back, right? Unless there's some time travel there, or like something with Osiris where we can like simulate it or something like that. But like, I feel like occupied makes more sense where we just get the F out and it's like, but then Bungie can bring it back, in the next year or so, retuned, retooled.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really cool.
You can be transformed by the darkness as well.
Yeah.
Zero Uno says, just over from the beta to now, do you guys think Destiny improve over the years, or are we only just starting to get better?
Let's have
so
Briar.
From beta to now, have we gotten any better?
First.
I mean, definitely. My biggest complaint with Destiny right now is that the lack of like change and evolution, right? That's my biggest problem right now. Is I feel like in a lot of ways we're playing the same game that we played, and it just hasn't changed that much. So I do think the game is a better game than we played in the beta and in year one of Destiny 1. I wish for, if I could have, my wildest wishes come true, the game would just evolve faster and there'd be more content more often. But I mean, those are tall orders.
Yeah. I think the game is definitely better. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's
definitely
a better experience. I feel like it's we're getting to the point now where it's going to be better than D1 at the end of its life cycle. But it has taken a couple years to even get to the point where we can start comparing it, because they've been playing catch up since they split the code bases off from D1 to D2, and then like decided to go double primaries for nearly a whole year, and like Just a whole strange set of circumstances. I mean, PvP, I feel like it's still suffering from a lot of those, like the maps in D2 being developed for 4v4 mostly. They just have weird pacing in D2. You know what I mean? For PvP, yeah. But largely, I think it's better though than where it was.
Absolutely. I defend it a lot. I think when people ask me that question, like D1 or D2, I'm like, oh, D2. I might be kind of biased because we're on PC and it just feels better. Like even like the current Call of Duty, like just feels better than previous Call of Duties. Just PC. I just feel like the way like mouse and keyboard feels. I like the the aesthetics of the PC. So it's hard to compare, especially like when I talked about earlier, seeing my son play Destiny 2 on PlayStation. It's like it's so slow. It feels so much slower. But I think there's just so much to do in Destiny 2. Like, especially, again, my son just started playing recently with his friends for the first time. And he's like showing him like adventures and lost sectors and public events. And there's a lot to do. But I think Briar nailed it. Like, we've been playing Destiny, which is relatively the same game, same characters and same, weapons. And a lot of the weapons have come back, right? A lot of the exotics have come back for 6 years. Like, we've been playing Destiny for 6 years, and there haven't been these overwhelmingly sweeping like changes to make it feel like a drastically different game, which there's pros and cons to that, right? Like, we love Destiny because it is Destiny. We've been playing it for so long. We love it. But for the real gamers out there that like variety and when there's a lot of other games out there, it's hard to keep going back to the same, same old. And
same loop.
I think it's just, what do you guys, franchise fatigue. I think a lot of it just comes down to franchise fatigue.
Yep.
There's a lot of different there's a lot of competition out there that wasn't there 3 years ago, 6 years ago. There's a lot of other games, especially in the PvP sphere, right? Like Battle Royale wasn't a thing really, 6 years ago. And even when D2 first came out, I think PUBG was the only real, H1Z1 was out there. There's some other ones out there, but like PUBG had just hit the scene, I think, when Destiny 2 first launched. And that was the summer of PUBG, right, Briar?
That was a fun summer.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Wayne says, which Mario Brothers style death would you prefer? Death by a giant Venus flytrap or death by a giant spinning turtle shell hurtling along the ground towards you?
I think I'd take the turtle shell because the flytrap means you're being digested by the flytrap.
Yeah, that's not a good way to go. I'm taking the turtle shell to this dome.
That's
I might even lean into it, Make sure it doesn't just take out my legs.
Yeah, I'd rather trip and fall, break a hip, walk around in a wheelchair for a while versus like trying to fight off a,
Yeah. Slowly get
turtle shell.
The rest of your life is getting digested by a plant.
Ugh.
No. Maybe I become the plant. Maybe maybe.
Wow.
You poke your arms out. I'm a plant now.
Yeah, there you go. Embrace
one of
it.
those little dancing ones that are on your dashboard. You just see Watts' face.
Former Guardian says, if your Guardian could have a pet, which would you choose? Warbeast, Thrall, Dreg, or Shank?
I'm going to choose Dreg because then he has to give me his Dreg's promise because he is my pet. He doesn't have a choice. He's got to give it up. Can't keep hogging it.
Warbeast for me, definitely. That
Because
sounds
it's an
better.
actual pet.
Well, because it's like they're pretty badass actually.
They are.
They are.
Yeah.
I think I gotta go with Shank.
Yes.
Yes.
Two Shanks.
Why? Why you gotta go Shank?
Because I could like sit on it and it could fly.
Yeah. Yeah, that thing
Oh.
flies, man. Like you can do all sorts of tricks with it. It's also electronic, so you can program it to like go do stuff for you. Maybe you got a really cool Roomba now.
It's a droid.
Yeah.
Think about it. It's like R2D2. His little arm comes out. He can like hand me a cheeseburger. He can like hold my milkshake for me. Like, dude.
I like flying cheeseburgers. You guys like flying cheeseburgers?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Hollow says, I have played Warlock a lot recently. Should I go see a doctor?
Yes.
Yes.
Please.
CK says, CK says, if you had to pick one Destiny character for a casual interview, comedians in cars getting coffee style, who would you pick to share a cup of Joe with Jerry Seinfeld? Have you guys seen that show?
Yeah. It's great.
Yes.
So who in the Destiny universe would you pick to get in a car with Jerry Seinfeld and go get coffee and be on an episode of that show? That is a specific question. See,
I feel like Drifter's an easy choice because he's like, he has so much personality that it would be a really interesting conversation.
That is an easy choice, but I feel like Zavala would be a tough nut to crack, and I feel like Jerry he'd pull pieces apart and try to peel apart the shell, to get to the core.
In that show too, he tries to customize the car to the guest. What car would be Zavala's car?
A really, really safe and practical car.
It's
like a
station
Volvo?
wagon.
I was thinking like the
Yeah,
18
minivan.
van, but I think you're right. A minivan. Yes.
Zavala's
Definitely a minivan.
That's canon.
Get in, Guardians.
That's my new
We're going
Steam
to
name
school.
tomorrow. That is the
Buckle
new
up
name.
for safety, Guardians.
Zavala's minivan. That's the one.
Prius. I would say Shax. I think Shax would be cool just because he's got a little bit of a bravado, right? Like he's always standing there, and if you listen to his voice lines, which I tend to do a lot because I'm standing next to him, like checking inventory and checking stuff, and I go to him for bounties every day and stuff, and it's like, he's like, I do this and I'll do this, and so to have someone like try to joke around with him, he's always trying to be like serious all the time, and I don't know what you're talking about, like Whereas like Zavala, I feel like is almost like a robot where he just doesn't show a lot of emotion, so he would be definitely a hard nut to crack. I agree, but I think Shax almost tries to keep this like image all the time, whereas Zavala just is that way all the time, like
Yeah.
So it's like trying to crack Shax, I think would actually be more fun because he's just like, I can see him get frustrated,
Yeah. What kind of car does Jerry pick for Shax?
A Harley.
A Harley? I was thinking like an Alfa Romeo that never turns on. Like you gotta jump start it every time you want to turn on.
Marsav is on the Harley. Shax is in the sidecar.
Yeah, there you go.
There it is. I like it. Sam says, "What video game has the best music / soundtrack?"
Well, Final Fantasy is very famous for their music.
Wrong answer.
Always great. FromSoft games, always fantastic. Destiny, legitimately, I think has one of the best soundtracks of games. Like Destiny's music is absurd.
Destiny 1 score is really fantastic. Like it's a beautiful score. But
yeah.
my go-to always is like Bloodborne. That thing is that is such a fantastic score.
Yep.
And the fact that they recorded
They're
it
all
in a
really
church.
nice answers, but they're wrong. The correct answer is Rock and Roll Racing for the Sega Genesis. It's all classic rock in chip tunes on the Sega Genesis, made by Blizzard. Oddly,
Is that really a soundtrack though? That sounds like
it's the music that's playing during the
It
game.
seems like a copyright infringement.
yeah.
I think they licensed it. I think that's why they've never re-released that game.
For me, I mean, Destiny's obviously up there. Like the fact that there's soundtracks for every expansion, and like I said, Curse of Osiris is one of my favorites. I love the Doom soundtrack, like the Doom, the new 2016 and Doom Eternal. That like rock, dude. Like and it's great because I love how video games, just like movies, like the music goes with the action. Like as soon as you enter a scene, as soon as you get to a fight scene, the music intensifies and it just brings it all together. And oh man, Doom 2016. I did Doom 2016 again this year before Eternal came out, and then I did Eternal, and oh man, like your adrenaline's pumping, you're hyped, you're pumped, you're just like, yeah,
Yeah.
rip and tear.
It's a perfect combo.
Celestino51 says, did Breyer ever finish playing through the original Final Fantasy VII? Thoughts on the original? I stopped playing at the Golden Saucer, and for some reason I picked something else up, and I mean to get back to it, but
You picked up
I don't like
cables
that
for your
game that
Dreamcast?
much. I just want to play through it for the story, so that when the next part of the remake comes out, like I can understand the story more.
At what point did your
but I don't
CRT
love that
TV come in and make you drop the OG Final Fantasy VII?
Jeez, there's been a lot of CRT gaming. The whole world of SCART cables and line doublers. And VGA to SCART adapters has been fun, expensive, but fun. Really expensive. And you gotta wait like months to get the stuff delivered because some of it's coming. Like I ordered this thing from, I think it was from the Czech Republic, and all it does is convert Dreamcast 480p from VGA to SCART.
All right. How much did it
Because
run you?
you need that in your life. I don't even know why.
How much did it run you?
It wasn't that expensive. It's like $120.
That's expensive for a cable.
It's not a cable. It's a whole box. There's electronics on it.
Okay, it's a converter. Yeah, that's true.
Ivar says, "Who are these people that actually like The Last of Us 2?"
Wow.
I am one of those people. I am really digging that game. It is dark though, really dark.
One of
It
my
came out at the
friends-
worst possible time.
One of my friends said that he was really disappointed that we weren't going to play games in the evening because he needed to decompress after finishing The Last of Us 2 story. He was like, I was in a really bad place. I needed to talk to people. It's just like hit after hit after hit. It doesn't stop.
We're gonna talk about that game more on SideQuest on Monday.
Yeah.
But boy, it's a really good game, but it is really dark. Really dark.
Yeah, really heavy, really dark, and it is definitely like the worst possible time to have a really heavy, dark game be on the list of things to play during dark times in humanity.
Sure is. I'm putting a little bit of Monster Hunter and I think it's called the Cursed Kingdom in there to like,
Mix it
keep
up.
it. Yeah, mix it up a little bit. Like bright colors, happy music. Adrian 2 says, when are you going to fix Fran's border? It bothers me every week that his is slightly off center.
I don't know what you're talking about. I think you need to fix your monitor.
Glazik says,
Tap the side of it.
Yeah.
what is the best Wi-Fi name you've ever come across? It says, get off my lawn.
I don't think I've seen any good ones.
I think I saw
Mine's
one.
an old
One.
It's the dark side. So every time you join it, it says welcome to the dark side.
Nice.
But
I
that's a pretty old joke at this point.
I saw one when we were living in Hollywood. I think somebody had their router named like FBI van outside monitoring you. Something like that.
I like it.
That is great.
Something along those lines. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was pretty great every time I saw it.
My last house, when I had a neighbor, it was called Two Girls, One Wi-Fi. And then there was another one that was McDonald's Wi-Fi, which I thought was always funny because it's always like the running
always
joke.
good,
The Wi-Fi is that
Yeah.
bad, so it's just McDonald's Wi-Fi.
Uncrasmatic says, is the Predator the special host again? Can we just make him a full-time member of DCP? He's not the special host.
You should
and
message Pope Bear though on Twitter and ask.
Yeah.
Like everyone should at Pope Bear on Twitter and ask if we can have Predator as a permanent
Yeah,
host.
negotiate.
the Predator's looking for
contracts.
new representation right now, actually.
Yeah. Oh man.
He was disgusted. Tig says, if you could be part of any TV show, what show would it be and why? TV show?
Mm.
Anything?
Like current or of all time?
I think
Just all
anytime.
time.
I always want to choose the Dukes of Hazzard for this, but man, that Confederate flag, it really makes it problematic. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think you can even like acknowledge that you like. I didn't know the Confederate flag meant that. It was just two Duke boys shooting arrows with dynamite tips, blowing shit up and driving like fucking crazy maniacs in the forest. It was an amazing show when I was a kid, and I'm
Sounds like
sorry that's
Pryor.
racist. I didn't know.
Different times, bro. Different times. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's something like would you want to do something like that where it was like outdoors and a lot of like high action where you were like seeing stuff and doing stuff, or would you want to be a
Heck
part of
yeah.
a show that had like a lot of visuals Like, I don't know. Recently I've been talking about like Battlestar Galactica a lot. I was talking to my daughter about it. Like, you should go find the show on, I think Sci-Fi has it, and binge watch it. Like,
Battlestar
you know.
If you are a guest star, a 1-episode guest star on Battlestar Galactica, you have a high risk of dying.
Yeah, true. Hey, it's a one-time thing. Let's go out and blaze of glory, you know?
Yeah, I guess.
I want all of DCP to be in Konosuba. Trust
I don't
me.
know what that is.
No
It
idea.
would be great. It would be great.
Yeah?
Just trust
It
me.
sounds like a soup with corn in it.
It'll be great. And that's exactly what it is, Brad.
Tofu, corn, soup.
Chad agrees.
I'm gonna go with that. This is kind of sketchy, all right, but I think The Expanse would be a really awesome world to be in, so long as you're not one of the
Terrifying.
characters that you're gonna die. Because, yikes!
That doesn't seem like an awesome place to be.
All those worlds they're gonna explore. Come on, they opened up a portal to like 1,000 stars that have livable, habitable planets. Come on, man.
That's true. That I wouldn't have to be here anymore.
There's like these blue crystal aliens running around killing people.
I know, bad.
Maybe
There's
they'll
a
be my
three-way
friend. I don't
war
know. You don't know.
between Mars, Earth, and the asteroid belt.
Well,
There's-
some of the politics have subsided in season 3.
What's the religion that's out there that they with the huge ship? What's the Mormons? The
They-
Mormons are out there trying to.
They got
escape
their
the whole
ship hijacked,
galaxy.
man. You know. The show is great.
How about
The
Scooby-Doo?
concept,
What if we
though.
were all on an episode of Scooby-Doo, like the Harlem
That does
Globetrotters,
sound great.
like special episode? You know, nobody's getting killed in
does sound great.
Scooby-Doo. We're gonna have a good
We're
old
fighting
time.
crime.
Yeah, we're gonna smoke some pot in the mystery van with Shaggy and Scoobs. We're gonna have some Scooby
Eat a big
snacks. We're gonna go
hoagie.
find some. Yeah, we're gonna go hunt some ghosts. We're gonna find out it's Pope Bear under the mask. Everybody goes home happy.
Of course.
It was Pope Bear the entire time.
Pope and Holtzman, that's where they've been. They've been the whole time.
Oh man.
Jay Sherritt says, my first date with my future wife was a trip to a local arcade to play Street Fighter 2.
Ooh.
Yes, I made Zangief. Is it Zangief or Zangief? I've never known.
Oh, Zengi.
23 years of marriage later, we both love DCP and raid together with our clan weekly. What is your first date story that you share with your friends? Yo, that's amazing. First date
I
was Street
can't
Fighter
freaking
2,
top that. It's
23 years
impossible.
later.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
My first date with my wife was the dual VHS Titanic at her. I came to her house and she had a little 10-inch TV with a VCR built into it on her dresser. I sat on the floor. She sat on the bed. We watched Titanic together. It was dual VHS because it was, it was like one of the first like 3-hour-long movies. It couldn't fit on one tape. So like you get halfway through, it's like switch tapes, and like.
Oh, that's great.
Did you cry at the end?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
No.
I wasn't really a crier until I had my daughter. In all seriousness, like I never cried like when I was a kid, when in my like my early, well, I guess I had her when I was 22, 23, so it was early in my teens. I was never a crier. And then after I had my daughter, commercials make me cry. Like music makes me cry. Everything makes me cry. I'm such a baby now. It's crazy, but yeah.
I guess technically mine and Tomo's first date was when I came to Seattle to play Destiny before it came out, because he volunteered to work the event, because he flew in a bunch of YouTubers and streamers and had people sit down and play Destiny for the first time, and he volunteered to work it so that he could be there with me the whole time. So our first date was us playing Crucible against some nerdy content creators and kicking their ass.
That's pretty good. That's a good
That's
one.
awesome. Memes and I, let's see. We went and saw Count of Monte Cristo. That was in theaters.
Ooh.
And then went to Barnes & Noble, talked about music books, and chatted until 2 a.m. She kept getting a phone call.
Fantasies.
She kept getting a phone call, and I was like, who keeps calling her? It was her mom, obviously. And for some reason, my younger self didn't connect the dots, but I was like, damn, getting a lot of phone calls. But
Was that like her bailout phone call? Like if the date was going bad, she could be like, "Oh, this is an emergency. I gotta go."
No, that was her Filipino mother being extremely worried about where she's at like 1 in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Me and my wife, I think it was 2010 or 2011, we had a massive snowstorm come through the Northeast and wiped out power in Connecticut for like 2 weeks. And it was right about the time of Halloween, and me and my future wife were talking a lot on the phone. We had this date planned, but there was no restaurants opening in Connecticut because of the snowstorm that wiped out power until we figured out that Wallingford had a municipal power system. So they were the only town in Connecticut that still had power and the restaurants were still open. So I went to the restaurant, like, I think 3 hours early to get in line. It was the 99 restaurant. It wasn't even like a nice place.
Oh,
It was
wow.
99. I waited in line. We got a table, and then we were fucking assholes. We stayed there the entire night till closing. Like, all these people who don't have power or heat at their houses, we're coming to the 99 just to get a hot meal, and we're sucking up this table for the entire night. But we didn't get married, so it worked out.
That's when you knew you were perfect for each other.
My wife tells me she almost slapped me because she says I spaced out for a second, and I looked at her and I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking about Star Wars."
That's great.
That is amazing. I just imagine little young Briar, beardless, sitting there spacing out. What are you doing? Oh, sing about Star Wars. Sorry.
Rune79 says, emergency question number 411. Would you rather be able to turn your head like an owl or have a neck that telescopes up to the length of a giraffe's neck, but can go back down to a normal length at will?
So do I want to have verticality?
Yeah, like a
To see
telescoping
things
neck.
over.
Yeah.
Or do I want to be able to look behind me, basically? Watch my own back. Oh, I could scare a lot of people without being so obvious as the telescope neck with the owl neck.
Yeah, that's
Like being able
definitely
to
neck would be
turn your head.
creepy as hell. Just like,
Yeah. Oh, I want that. Oh, yeah. I could just do that on the train. No one really noticed. Someone's looking at you weird. You just
What
spin
you
your
guys
neck
talking
around.
about back there?
Imagine you're like eating a sandwich or something.
yeah.
You're like, you spin around while you're chewing.
Yeah, definitely.
That definitely gets the creepy points, but I think I'd go with the neck, the telescopic neck, just because like you like look over the wall, like look in the look at this floor, like your buddies, you roll up to the window and down, let's go.
Yeah, the number of
That
times that
sounds
you
good.
might want to surveil the landscape, being like, oh, what's just over that fence or like down the street or something. Being able to pop 20 feet in the air and then being
You're in
like,
a crowd.
Yeah, right. In a crowd,
That's true.
that'd be very handy.
Counterpoint.
Where you at?
Think of the panoramic. Think of the
here.
panoramic photos though with the owl head.
You
Like,
could
you're
become a
gonna be
famous
on
Instagrammer.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
true.
but you have to make a device that holds your camera in relation to your head spin.
Forehead.
Yeah.
Counterpoint though, if we get lost on a desert island and someone has this neck technology, we might not end up eating Briar. So
I'm all for the neck.
no.
Takarito says, for the people who with facial hair, which has to go? Mutton chops or handlebar mustaches? If neither, what would you get rid of? First of all, Takarito, all facial hair is good facial hair.
Except for the Hitler stash.
That's really all that needs to be said. Oh yeah, the Hitler kind of.
Oh, he kind of ruined it. It's not the facial hair's fault.
I don't know if that's ever coming back either. Like I think in like 1,000 yees, people are like, "Oh man, no, it's not called the Chaplain dude."
Get worse. If anything, it gets worse. Yeah, no, definitely not.
Yeah, I'd say it's all good.
I mean, I used to have mutton chops for a long time. I was known for sideburns. Nothing like Ladman, but like I always had different lengths of sideburns, and so But my dad has a handlebar mustache, and that's his thing. So I'm kind of partial to both. I don't know. I guess if I have to choose, I'd go with handlebar mustache.
Have you ever seen those beard competitions where people like shape them?
Yeah.
So, like they'll make boats and stuff out of there. out of their facial hair. It's really fun to watch. Russian05 says, you log into Twitter after grabbing your morning coffee and see the name of one of your co-hosts trending. What is the most likely reason why each of you would be trending? Well, let's be honest. Watts just killed somebody and Tefty narked on her.
Trending.
There was a thing earlier where so apparently it was Burr Rabbit was trending and people thought Briar Rabbit was trending. And I was like, he probably was trying to dismantle the patriarchy with a childhood trick he learned with Molotov cocktails.
Yeah.
I was like, what would be the headline? Local man dismembers the patriarchy with Molotov cocktails he learned from childhood.
They're like, surprisingly, it's not a Florida man.
Briar will be doing something righteous, but in a very bad way.
Yeah.
Good intentions. Very good intentions.
Misguided.
I feel like mine would be food related. So like either I ate a ridiculous amount of tacos, or like I survived the hottest pepper in the world, or I choked on a burrito. Like something like
What
that.
if it was all of it?
A series of unfortunate events.
After eating an insane amount of tacos and while consuming the world's hottest pepper, Clintus
After setting the
has
world
choked
record
on a burrito. He's
for
okay
eating
though.
the hottest and largest burrito ever consumed by a human being. He died when his asshole caught on fire.
There it is. Trending.
Yeah, that would trend. That would definitely.
It's got trending all over it.
Uh-huh. Tiny says, what if one day you woke up and your nipples were completely gone? Like no scars or anything, just flat skin. And then once you leave the room, you find out your dad just died last night. And several days later, you find out that for your entire life, he'd be sneaking into your room while you slept and sucking on your chest to make two gigantic hickeys where your nipples should be because you were born without them, not for any sexual reason, just so you'd fit in.
That's the show. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.
Now we're trending.
You're right. What if? I don't know, man.
What if, man? Like, thanks, Dad?
I think the appropriate answer is, huh?
Aspinger says what?
Yeah.
Ringo the
How
Digger
high
says,
were you and what strain was it? Let me know.
yeah, right. DM me.
Let me know where you got it.
Train. Ringo the Digger says, if you had an emergency superpower you could only use once in your lifetime when in dire need, what superpower would you choose? Resurrection. That's the obvious go-to
That
here.
is, yeah. That's pretty good.
What if you
The
died?
ability to res anyone.
What if you died at the bottom of the ocean, though?
I learned to swim better.
At the bottom of the ocean, you can pop back up after rezzing. You know, it's like in a game.
I mean-
It's like in Destiny when you're getting rezzed on the cliff and you keep on falling down.
You keep falling off the cliff.
You know.
Yeah,
I
you can
think-
only use it once too, so you might just
Maybe
be
like an
wasted.
emergency teleportation, right? Like you've got like a
Yeah.
spot marked, right? Like a tactical insertion from Call of Duty, where you're like,
Yeah.
if I die, I respawn here, right?
Where would you
Or-
put it?
Like
At home? Like maybe in my
a
bed?
safe room in your
Really?
house, like your
Yeah.
closet or something.
Very close to the shower, because whatever I was doing, I might get dirty.
I just shit my pants.
In the laundry. Oh, fuck. Click.
Exactly.
Oh,
That's
man.
what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's something like I click my heels and say there's no place like home, and boom, I'm in the shower. Cold shower beer. Let's go.
Oh man.
Dreadnought hashtag Black Lives Matter says, if someone films you unknowingly and without your consent and it goes viral on Reddit, which subreddit would the video most likely have been posted to?
Probably Destiny, right? Because they don't like us.
Yes.
Probably.
Briars is going on Reddit /r/Molotov cocktails.
What could go wrong? Reddit. Yeah. Are you seeing this shit?
Idiots in cars. It's Briar speeding down. Speeding down a residential, flipping a van. Oh man.
I gotta go. I'm a huge foodie. Like I know I don't look like it, but I definitely like I can see something like I'm like eating tacos or eating a burrito or something and not realizing that people are watching me. I'm just like, oh yeah.
I remember that
video.
That's why you're
Bieber
trending.
video where it's either from the middle and it went viral.
Just like, you know, it's like when you look over at someone at a restaurant, you're like, what is he doing? Look how he's eating that. Like, and you're just like, no one, he doesn't give a fuck. And he's just like, oh, yeah.
It's gonna be Briar after having a lot of hot sauce, being very drunk with peanut butter stuck in his mouth, and he's attempting to go to everyone's karaoke sessions and sing their songs.
Looking lovely after your wife had done your makeup.
Yes, yeah. You did look great. It was a good look.
It was beautiful.
She's a
Bring
talented
that back
artist.
more often.
Zachary Richin says, what vehicle would you guys like to have out of these three choices? The DeLorean from Back to the Future, Kit from Knight Rider, or the Dukes of Hazzard car.
Well,
obviously not the Dukes of Hazzard car because that's racist.
Paint job.
Paint job. That is true. Could do a paint job.
But then it's not the Dukes of Hazzard car anymore.
True.
Now you just got an old Dodge.
Yeah.
That's probably been jumped.
I gotta go with Kit, man. Kit was Knight Rider, dude.
yeah.
I mean, the DeLorean's
Pretty
dope
good.
and
You
everything.
could time travel
The
though.
DeLorean.
With the
True.
DeLorean.
Oh, does it work?
Hell yeah. Well, if the Dukes of Hazzard car can jump,
DeLorean.
Yeah.
so you have a
The Kit
sentient
pretty-
car, a racist car,
Could be my friend.
or a time traveling car.
Yeah.
I think DeLorean definitely.
Yeah.
I
I'd
could
be
talk
afraid
to
of-
that
I-
Kit when I need to, though. You know, having a tough time, hop in the car, Kit.
How about this? You take a DeLorean, you go way in the future, you get a talking car because that's common in the future, obviously, and you bring it back. Done.
I'd be so scared to fuck up the timeline. I'd be so scared to fuck up the timeline.
How could you not actually do the events of Back to the Future and get an almanac, bring it back, and become super rich?
Yeah. It's such a genius move. Blaney McBlanerson says there's a species. Oh, this is the last question of the night. Wow, we got through a lot of questions tonight. There's a species of cockroach from Hawaii that gives birth to live young and produces milk to feed them. The cockroach's milk is 4 times as nutritious as cow's milk. What kind of cereal would go best with cockroach milk? Also, as soon as you heard cockroach milk, you knew we were going to eat it, right? You knew the question was going to be, you have to eat this.
Is this real? This can't be real, right?
I don't know. Well, I'm no Hawaiian cockroach expert.
That's a mammal thing, producing milk for the young. So no, that's definitely not real.
I'm
right?
googling it. I'm gonna look this up. Hawaiian
Validation.
Something chocolatey, probably, to hide all the cockroach taste.
To hide the cockroach flavor, something chocolatey. So you need a powerful cereal. I'm gonna go with Captain
Yeah.
Crunch.
Captain Crunch is pretty good.
Mm-hmm. A lot of sugar.
I feel like
Needed.
cockroaches. It's got to be something crunchy. So I'm gonna go with like honey bunches of oats with bananas.
Always a good choice.
Bananas are very strong, potent. It'll get rid of that, you know, whatever harshness is there. Kind of creamy, but it's got that crunch to it. So you're like, yeah, cockroach milk.
Okay.
It is real.
It is?
Yeah.
Can we buy it? Can you buy cockroach milk?
Is there?
Can I send it to Briar? I still have his address.
Why are cockroaches
Next
so
time.
advanced, man? Survive a nuclear
They're
blast. Making milk for the
They're
young.
amazing.
I had this
Clearly they
random
evolved.
thought the other day about we have each other addresses from the Secret Santa thing,
We do.
and I have Fran Maribella's address, and I was thinking, you know, what'd be fun is like if once a month I just sent them something random, but never told them who it was from.
That would be great.
That would be funny.
That
would
would
be.
be amazing.
You should send them Rogaine. You'd be like, what the hell? What? What's happening?
I thought it might get creepy though, so I just didn't drop.
He might go
call.
to the police and say, I keep getting these mysterious packages. Can you trace them?
And then when he found out it was me sending them, would that be worse or better?
Right.
You should send him some cockroach milk.
It turns out it's this guy named Briar Rabbit from Connecticut. Oh, definitely arrest him.
He's got a criminal record with Molotov cocktails and driving minivans, tipping minivans over.
Oh man.
Cockroach milk. Gross.
Yeah, I didn't expect to have that takeaway tonight from the show.
I learned
Yikes.
something today.
Cockroach milk.
I think I want it warm, so it helps me sleep. I'm just gonna drink it straight warm.
I don't want any
It's
of it.
nutritious.
Yuck.
How big are these cockroaches that they're producing milk that you can
Yeah.
actually,
You
How
can
many
milk them?
cockroaches does it take to fill up a bowl of milk? You put the cockroach milk in first, or do you put the cereal in first?
Okay, this
15 pounds?
this is actually making me nauseous
15
now.
pounds.
Thinking about it. Too many visuals. Too many visuals.
Do cockroaches have nipples? That's a good question.
That's a good question.
I don't know. We'll find out. We'll get back to you
I'm
guys
just-
next week
I
and
have-
we'll
Was it the thorax or whatever? The body, Hey man, living in Hollywood, I've seen some mega roaches. All right, when you walk into a room and you sense a presence, that's a big roach. All right, big roach.
Can you
It's
pass
been
the
around the
remote,
block.
please?
It's like, yeah, pass the remote exactly.
Joe's apartment.
Roach
Yeah.
cutters.
Are they really nipples, or is it just the cockroach's dad sucking secretly in the night?
Oh
question.
my god! All right, well that's the
And
show.
this is a Destiny podcast, by
That's,
the way.
yeah.
just in case you
That's
didn't know
episode
that.
194 in the books.
Keeping it topical every week.
Keeping it topical, exactly. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Appreciate the support. Yeah, but I'd say the takeaway from tonight's show is go buy those pins, those emblems from Bungie. It supports a good cause. All right,
Lock your door
Absolutely.
tonight and see if you have nipples tomorrow morning.
lock your doors. Oh man, Clintus, where can people find you?
I'm at Clintus pretty much everywhere. YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, Twitter. I'm kept it pretty easy. Old school, so Clintus on everything.
Nice. Watts?
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks for being on, man.
It was very fun. I am Miss 5000 Watts. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Just look for Miss 5000 Watts.
Briar.
I am Briar Rabbit. You can find me. Actually, I deleted Twitter off my phone, so I'm only checking it like once a day on my
Smart.
computer.
Smart.
But you can find me perusing websites of the Czech Republic looking for VJ boxes for my Dreamcast.
Excellent. Looking forward
you
to that. I'm Tefty Teft. You can talk to me at Teft on Twitter. I do still have Twitter. I've definitely been trying to limit my checking of it though, because I have to maintain my own emotional center from day to day. You can also catch my streams, twitch.tv/TeftyTeft. And yeah, that's where I've been streaming. I'm also about halfway through on Last of Us 2, which has been a super light, cheery story about friendship and
To get away from your emotional trauma on Twitter, you can
Yeah.
play a lot of that game.
It's your feel-good comedy at the
it's just, it's full of jabs, full of witty humor. It's great. What can I say? Yeah, so thank you very much for supporting the show. We really appreciate it, guys. Shout out to our subs on Twitch, and shout out to our Patreon members that make the show happen. We really do appreciate all the support. And if you watch us live, or if you watch us on YouTube or on the various podcast places, thank you very much for supporting us. We appreciate it, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, we'll see you next week. All right.
All right. Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
See you next week.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.